Hi, welcome to this channel on magnetic energy technology principles applications. This is highly unconventional, and it's about really the fundamental particle conspiracy. And it is just such a cover up, because the things I'm going to talk about in this video could be verified and accounted for at certain top secret labs where they know everything and more than I'm saying right now. Of course, I never give away too much information. And there's really big reasons why this information is kept under wraps. So conventional science, and like if you're taught in the classrooms, you've got like your fermions with your quarks and your leptons and then your bosons. And it's almost like saying the fundamental particles that build the universe, that make up the universe, are this handful of things that it's beyond a joke. It's such a joke, it's not even funny. It's like saying you've discovered all the colors in the universe and you've discovered one or two of them. But so the thing is, if this information is released, the problem that they have right now, until we have some sort of rise in consciousness, is that it really opens the gateway to free energy, and it big time. And then it opens up the gateway to anti-gravity technology, faster than light technology, the formulation, deformulation, and reformulation of matter. And it does all these things that you can no longer contain all of those theories and principles and math and everything. And so part of what's being kept under wraps is this incredibly terrible idea that the universe has these a small handful of fundamental particles that make up everything. So in this model, this magnetic model, and it's just like other models, technically there's no such thing as like matter and space and time, but I use those terms because it's just easier than trying to explain things without using those terms. But if you imagine that there's energy everywhere, and that there's a medium between planets and stars and everything that is full of energy, that's pretty well accepted at this point. And then you imagine that there's really no such thing as matter, and don't try to get me started on some sort of boson particles that give matter it's ridiculous. So it all depends on the fields that they're in. It depends on the fields that they're being subjected to. But if you think about the universe in terms of almost like infinitely small energy that really goes on essentially forever into infinite depths. But if you think in terms of like the energy matrix that we exist in this so-called physical universe, any point in the universe has to be tracked at all times. And why this is important is because you may not be able to travel through time, but you definitely can travel through events. And events are very, very well regulated. The sequentiality of events is regulated through magnetic pulse fields, and I've talked about this in other videos. And so what that does is it allows you to travel through events anywhere, like in what we would call the future, what we would call the past. And then we can also travel beyond space and beyond time without any restrictions of light speed or anything. And then, of course, gravity plays a role in all of this as well, and it's compressed magnetic energy, like I've talked about in many videos. So let's say you want to go somewhere a billion years ago. You can do that, and you can go anywhere in the universe with the proper technology and even really in consciousness. And you can get down to an exact point, and you can see exactly what's taking place at that point, at that moment in time, or the event sequencing of anything that took place there even a billion years ago. And that's because in this energy matrix that we live in, everything is carefully recorded and stored going down to an infinite level. So the system's incredibly dynamic. The energy is always exchanging, even down to like super subatomic levels like way below like quarks and leptons and bosons and everything. That's a joke. They're not even skimming the surface of really what's available. But the encoding is happening all the time. It's always ongoing because it's always tracking everything that's basically taking place. And we're always in motion constantly. Everything's in motion. And that motion through a magnetic field or through resonant fields is all recorded in every single little thing in the whole universe. And so I'll give you like an example. Like if you have like just like a basic crystal like this, okay? Imagine this crystal. First of all, when you get down to the subatomic levels, there's no matter in this whatsoever. It's all energy. It's energy composition. But as you get deeper into the energy composition and the subatomic or quantum fields, and there's even conventional research is now even speculating theoretically about this, but in top secret labs, they are very well aware of everything I'm saying right now. Everything that has ever happened to this simple crystal, the origin of it, no matter how many years it goes back, it could be millions, it could be billions, but the fundamental particles or the energetic structures that are the composition of this, how they started, where they came from, where they moved through the universe during its evolution, during its as it was being composed, as it was forming, as it was growing, and everything. All of that is totally tracked and recorded at its quantum levels. And now what's happening to it right now in its life as a crystal, like the store it was sold at, where it has moved, even what I'm doing to it right now, the motion that it's going through. Anywhere that it moves in this planet, and as we're moving, our solar system's moving, our galaxy's turning, all of those things. So it's moving really, all things considered, very, very fast right now, like everything is. But all of that motion, all of those resonant energies, everything is being carefully stored deeply inside of it. And the energy exchange inside of this is ongoing, and it's always happening at different and with a different dimension. And so everything's recorded to an infinite level. And this is why in this model, there's no such thing as fundamental particles, because no matter what you describe or no matter how deep you get, as soon as you observe it, as soon as you get anywhere near it, it automatically draws in structures that go deeper to record every little thing that's happening to it at all times without exception. And so like you could go back in time and find the very baby formation of this crystal with total precision, and then you could see everything that's happened and in its subatomic levels, and that goes on with everything. Everything is picked up and recorded. Now, it's one thing to say the release of this information is obviously it's a massive key to free energy, to anti-gravity, to force field technology, to faster than light travel, and all those other things. But one thing it really does, which is absolutely monumental in our current level of consciousness and our current level of technology, is it truly reveals the damage that has been done by conventional technology for whatever the last couple hundred years or so, 150 years, especially when it comes to electricity, when it comes to and then when nuclear things came online and everything. So the damage that has been done around the world, and we are at almost complete contamination at the subatomic level. It's, unless you've had advanced shielding and everything, we're at complete contamination because of all the nuclear testing and everything. So all of those things are recorded at the subatomic quantum levels, and every single type of reaction, particle, everything that's been done, all the damage is being completely recorded. This is what higher beings with advanced technology and higher consciousness, this is what they look at when they're analyzing the damage that's been done on this planet and to organisms, to wildlife, to everything. So they're looking at the mapping of this subatomic encoding, and they can clearly see the damage that's been done. And then they look at the energy fields around the planet. They look at the ionosphere. They look at the ozone layer. They look at the magnetosphere. They look at the Van Allen belts. They look at everything, and they can see the damage that's been done. And then it goes on beyond that. They look at our sun. They look at the rest of our solar system. They look at the edge fields of the solar system. And there's multiple different fields, but they examine everything. And then they look at the quantum level streams, the magnetic streams that go beyond space and time. And then they go off to other systems. So they're analyzing how the contamination is being carried, and they're doing it all at the subatomic level. That's recording everything very clearly, and it just goes deeper, and it can go in really nearly infinitely deep and infinitely complex. Depending on what's necessary, it automatically draws in whatever's necessary to record the events that have happened. And so that is kind of in a nutshell. I just had to get this on the record that the fundamental particle idea that there's actual building blocks of the universe that don't have any core structures and they don't have any coding inside of them is complete bullshit. It's totally ridiculous. There's top secret labs that know exactly what I'm talking about, and they have the technology to prove it. And it's just one of those things that we have to unleash this information. We will, when the consciousness is ready, and it will open doorways to all kinds of cool advanced stuff in our world. And so please send in any questions and comments that you have, and I'll see you again next time.